Well, you see, last night we're having a bit of a nice few days of weather up here, which is quite unusual for up here. But it's not that uncommon right now around Europe. Most of Britain, a lot of the rest of the Republic of Ireland, large parts of mainland Europe, uh, heat wave after heat wave this summer. And there I was last night. I was outside doing my recycling, yeah, sorting out the plastics from the cardboards. And, yeah, I do that stuff. I compost my food waste, and I kind of was enjoying the heat. It's nice to have a warm evening, but I realized that, fundamentally, if I separate my plastics from my cardboards, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. I do it, but at best, it's a tiny, tiny marginal difference. I'm also aware that huge, sort of elements of the bigger picture system of corporations and governments somehow tell me that it's really important that I do my recycling because that's what will solve our environmental crisis. It won't. It absolutely won't. At best, it makes a tiny, 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 tiniest little bit of difference. We must always remember that things like the carbon footprint, which is about saying to people, how much damage have you done? Yeah, it does matter, but it was a concept invented by, as I believe, oil companies to try to shift the blame for environmental degradation from them, where it belongs, to us, where it doesn't. So I was doing my recycling outside last night and I was enjoying the heat, and I was also aware that this continual process of heating is causing immense stress to all the other life forms that have evolved to live within an ecosystem which is less hot than this one. But at the same time, I was rather enjoying the heat. It made me think about big changes and small changes. The small changes, I am dedicated to traveling much less than I used to. I do my recycling. I try to live environmentally consciously, buy organic food, whatever. Those small changes matter. They are small interventions to try to make things, if not better, then at least stop making them worse. Small interventions. They are not a substitute for trying to create a better system or contribute towards the creation of a better system where such interventions aren't necessary anymore. I mean, the truth is, it doesn't matter how much bloody recycling you do, as long as we live within a system which is based on extracting things from the earth, turning them into goods, selling them to people, letting them break, and then shoving them in landfill and extracting new resources from the earth, we are screwed. My recycling does not remove from me the obligation to take responsibility for my part of the big system. And it made me think about, yes, three areas of responsibility. What is my responsibility to myself and to others to make small changes, to make things a little bit better today and tomorrow? What is my responsibility, even if I'm enjoying things like I rather enjoy hot summer's evenings? What is my responsibility to try to make sure that others who have to share the environment or the community with me, in my case, other plants and animals, that they are not suffering even though I'm enjoying myself? And thirdly, what is my responsibility towards systemic change? How does this translate, for example, into your life? If you are struggling to get through another week of work, what are the small changes you can make to help yourself survive a toxic work environment? If you're doing okay in your environment, are you aware of whether others are finding it a toxic environment? What changes can you make to enable them more healthily to survive? And thirdly, what contribution can you make towards stopping a toxic environment from being a toxic environment? The answers to those are personal. We all do what we can. But if we fool ourselves into thinking that small changes to mitigate the effects of a big problem are enough, those small changes are not enough. They may be necessary, they may be useful, but they're not enough. Right now, me doing my recycling is not going to stop the world teetering towards humans no longer being able to live on this planet, and vast amounts of the ecosystem that we're supposed to share this planet with simply having no space to survive. That doesn't mean I don't do my recycling. Small changes, changes on behalf of others, and systemic changes. How does that translate to how you occupy your environment, how you occupy your work environment, how you occupy your relationships with others or with yourself? What are the small changes you need to make now? What are the changes you could make that would make life easier and better for others now? And what are the changes that you can contribute to try to ensure that in future we don't need to worry so much about the small changes, because we will have made the big changes? If you think I can help you working your way through some of these pretty big questions, these are questions about how we live. If you think I can help you working your way through some of these big questions, reach out to me. Have a great day.